Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Pivotal Moments. I still can't believe that this is technically our season 3. Oh my goodness, I'm just so amazed that this platform has just really done the amazing things and been able to have so many wonderful people just come on and share their pivotal moments. So I always thank you all so much for supporting. So, with that said, we have another amazing guest today, which I am super excited to bring to Pivotal Moments. We have Monica joining the conversation. So, Monica, you are another one of these ones that have quite a number of things going on. So, I'm going to actually turn it over to you so that you can tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, so like Lita said, yeah, I have a lot going on. I'm a person that I like to follow my passions. So if I'm passionate about it, just know I may have a business around it. I'm just putting it out there, right? So full time, I do government contracting. I'm a user experience designer, so I work with software. But when I'm not doing that, I am the owner of Phoenix Crochet Designs, which is an all handmade crochet business. And I'm also co-owner of Twisted Intimacy, which is a business where I have to put it out there. The name may throw you for a loop, but it's a business where we focus on your self-intimacy, which in this society, especially in the Black community, we don't necessarily teach enough of that. We don't teach enough about our bodies. We don't teach enough about how to truly have intimacy because that does not equate to sex. So it's one of those things where it's just like I get so passionate about it. But if you let's see, what else do I do? I sell wine, and I also sell pure romance. And to top all of this off, I also model. So
Love it.
yeah, I do a little bit of everything, and like I said, I do the things that I'm passionate about. And when you ask me if I'm busy or if I have free time, um, I do tend to be busy, but I think something that I've learned over the years is to make time for myself. That way I don't get so burned out.
I love it. And again, as someone who fully believes in just doing everything, all the things, I certainly appreciate it. And especially for you tackling some of these areas, as you mentioned, that typically we kind of shy away from, but it's necessary to really be just in touch with ourselves and understand what true intimacy is. So I love that that's something that you approach and do it so delicately and tastefully. So you all make sure you see the information on the screen. Definitely make sure you're following her. You're gonna love following her stories because it's like watching a whole show just following her stories.
Yes, I try to put some little entertainment out there, but like I said, it's getting comfortable with being vulnerable. Not to the point where, I'm putting everything out there, but to the point where I want to share about my journey, about being where I am, because I'm 31 years old, I'm single, and I do all of these things, and that's not necessarily what society says is okay. So,
Hmm. Wow, we might have to have another show about that topic just by itself.
right, right.
Yes, yes. Well, today though, we are talking about pivotal moments. So, which pivotal moment, what do you want to talk about today on the show?
I think for me, I would like to talk about because it's two things, but it's kind of wrapped into one. Um, when a big pivotal moment for me was when I bought my condo and like that whole process, because if you're a homeowner, you know that they go through all your records and stuff like that. And I got laid off from my job in the middle of that happening. And yeah, and it wasn't something that I planned on doing. That's the point of government contracting. Like you never know when the contract's going to end and you're going to pick up a new one. So I think my biggest pivotal moment was then. And then after I bought my condo, I was also in a relationship at the time. And another shift for me was when I had to recognize that this relationship was not going to work. And again, society says that, you're about to turn 30. you know, you have to be married and start a family and stuff like that. And I chose to follow what my gut feeling was. And yeah, I'm here today. So
I love that. And I just have to applaud you for that because you're right. There are so many stereotypes out there and it can be tough as a woman. There's so many different beliefs, right? That we need to be at this point, at this stage in our life. So I can certainly appreciate how that was a challenge for you and you chose you.
yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. Wow. So when we talk about that pivotal moment, we always talk about the thing that everything centers around. When we think about a literal pivotal moment, right? It's centering around something. Some people call it your why. What would you say is the thing that your pivotal moment really showed you is that most important thing that everything else must center around that?
Me.
Mm,
um because I had to choose what in the long run what I was going to be comfortable with, what like who was always going to be there. And at the end of the day, it was going to be me. And I'm the type of person where you can ask anybody, I will give you all the clothes in my closet off my back. I'm always the giver, but I tend to, and it's not on purpose, but I tend to not receive as much as I get. So a lot of the stuff that I do is thankless. But I had to recognize that, some people don't do it, on purpose. But and I don't like give to expect something in return, right? But I had to also understand that you can't give from an empty cup. So the more that I pour back into me, the more that I began to shine. Like with my modeling, I started doing that within the last year or so. This wasn't something that I've always been doing. That's a whole different conversation as to why I didn't get into it much younger. But I noticed right before I turned 30 that I love myself so much that everybody needs to know how much I love myself. And it's not to be conceited, it's to show that, hey, who's gonna tell me that I'm not beautiful or I'm not successful or I'm not where I'm supposed to be in life? Like who's gonna tell me that? Nobody. Because I know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I know that if certain things didn't happen, I would not be here today. So
whew, are y'all getting all of this goodness? Oh my goodness. Seriously, though, you are just really sharing some powerful things about loving yourself. And like you said, why allow anybody to tell you that you're not what you are? I love it. That's powerful, powerful. So now shifting gears a bit, we always come to the point where we talk about adjustments because a pivotal moment, like we said, that can be kind of centered around our why and it can be kind of glamorous or beautiful moment. But when we think about adjustment, many times that can be adapting to something that's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's kind of even ugly, if you will. So tell us about a time when you had to make the adjustment rather than the pivot.
so um I feel like my adjustment is when it comes to the work that I do. Um, Sometimes like the cards don't always play in your favor where you're not in the position where you want to be, especially at like a company, right? So I had to learn that you, I'm trying to say this in a way where it's like you have to learn how to go with the flow and to know where you're appreciated and where you're not. But you also have to make sure that you have a plan B for when your plan A may not work out.
Mm,
So I know for me, especially with me working my 9 to 5 and trying to do my businesses, I have to be very cautious that I'm not putting off one thing over the other. Because again, like I to be very candid, I live by myself, I support myself. And yes, I would like to be provided for someday. But until then, bills got to get paid.
There you go.
But it's one of those things where I know where to prioritize what. Like when like one thing before I got laid off, I would tell my coworkers, because they were working 80-hour weeks, and you heard that right, 80-hour weeks. It was ridiculous. But one thing I told them, if they're not paying you overtime, why are you doing this work? First and foremost. But even if they are paying you overtime, why are you allowing them to do this when there are other people that can they're like, what, 20 people on the team, but the work was being only allocated to like 8. So it's like, why I told them not to do it like that, but I was telling them prioritize themselves over the work at that point, because you worked what you were paid to work. And I don't believe in overworking yourself for jobs that are not going to pay you or even give you the promotion or the recognition that you deserve.
Yeah. Really, it comes down to know your value is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Wow. Good stuff. Okay, so now is your time to really just share with those watching right now that important message, that thought, whatever it is that you want to say directly to the viewers. And by the way, don't forget to plug whatever you got going on too. So what is your message to those watching right now? What do you want them to know from you?
I want everyone to know that when it comes to your self-worth and your self-care and your self-intimacy, learn about yourself first before you start getting into relationships, partnerships, or anything. Because the moment that you get into, I'll do relationships for right now. If you get into a relationship with somebody and you don't know what you actually need from the relationship, you're going to start putting out patterns that are not going to be for your highest good per se. And you may end up doing something where you don't even realize that you're doing it until you end up in a whole bunch of arguments. And the argument could have been solved if you had just knew that, oh, I really don't like to go out for pizza every day. But you kept going out for pizza because you thought that you had to go out for pizza in order to please that person. So it's about learning about yourself. That's the biggest way I can tell everybody to take this advice. Like, learn yourself before anything, and then follow what you're passionate about. If you don't like your 9 to 5 and you know that you are really good at crafting or doing something like that, follow what you're passionate about. However, I will say this: do not just quit your 9 to 5. Please do it in a way where you can slowly drift away. Make sure that you are financially stable and then follow your passion fully. But continue working on your passion while you're at your 9 to 5. That's honestly, that's kind of, but it's one of those things where you have to get real with yourself and say, hey, do I want to do this for the next 10 years? If the answer is immediately no, start working on that plan B. Like I said, I have businesses, I crochet, and speaking of crochet, I have a whole bunch of items that I would like to give to a nice home. So please check out my page for that. Twisted Intimacy, we actually have an event on this coming Friday. We're doing bedroom yoga with play with props. And then on Saturday, we actually have couples bedroom yoga. That's can be found on our website. I do twerk classes. And they're not your typical twerk classes. Like, I'm going to help you learn how to love yourself while we're doing body movement. And that's the best way I can put that without giving everything that I do away. But But yeah, if you need some wine, I have the wine for you to chill at the end of the night. If you need pure romance products, I have that too. Like I said, I like to invest in the things that I'm passionate about. And if you want to learn more about if you want to learn more about me, you can find me on IG, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to book me for a modeling session, just send me a DM. And yeah, this journey I'm on is incredible. And I would love for people to follow me and just see where they can go on their own journey too. I want to help inspire people because this is not something that is deemed as acceptable in society sometimes. Like you can't go against what the church says or what society dictates for you to be at in life. And it's one of those things where I'm the type of person that I want to see everybody succeed and be able to really, really love themselves. Because when you love yourself, you can love others in a healthy manner.
Wow. And Monika, what I really appreciated about everything that you shared is that it all really comes back to the experience of loving yourself. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate you sharing this and sharing that with us, because especially being a young Black woman, that message is so important for other women to hear. Loving yourself, knowing yourself, choosing you, and all the things that you are doing all really connect. That really is the centerpiece. Loving yourself, valuing yourself, and saying, I choose me. That's just super cool.
Thank you.
That's super cool.
Thank you. Like it hasn't been an easy journey though, and I'm not going to pretend that it has been. There have been plenty of nights where I've cried. There have been plenty of nights where I'm like, "Wow, why did I do that? Oh my God!" But at the end of the day, it's to put me in a place where I can not only know myself, but look out for the signs of what I want from a partner. Because now I know what I want from a partner, and what I want from them, for them to support me and to both physically and financially, but that's because of the level that I'm on. Like it's about honestly just learning about, like, because I know what I need. I know what I will need from somebody else now too. And I didn't necessarily know that before.
That's beautiful. And that's really what it is. If you know who you are, what you need, and love yourself, you can show up for other people. First of all, you show up for yourself, you show up for other people, and then you create this environment for what you allow for others who enter into your space.
Exactly.
Woo, season 3 is starting off with a bang, y'all.
I try.
Well, I love it. And once again, you see Monika's information there on the screen. So thank you so much, Monika, for joining Pivotal Moments and just sharing just a part of yourself and a part of your story. And again, these are always so encouraging, and I continue to just support you and watch you and even learn from you. Even though I'm big sis, I still can learn from you. So I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you for inviting me on. This was definitely a good opportunity, and I'm very grateful for you, because trust me when I say, well, yes, thank you. Thank you for the networking that we have already been doing. Because
yes. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in to Pivotal Moments, and we will see you next time on another episode of Pivotal Moments with Lolita.